Are you ready to get pissed off at out-of-touch executives? Well, you're about to be. It's time. Let's do this.
Just look at it as I stretch it.
So as we know, $80 games are going to become the norm. It's just unfortunate. It is what it is. We may see a couple games here and there be $70 or $60, and of course indie games will be cheaper, but Nintendo has set the precedent of $80 games. They're doing it with Mario Kart World, and you know there's no way other publishers and developers are going to be like, extra $20 per copy? We don't need it. Of course they're going to do it. It's capitalism at its finest, baby. So $80 is going to be the norm for games. There will be exceptions, like I said. And as I've said before, and many other people have said, there's even the rumor that GTA 6 is going to be $100 because of value. It's all about value. I'm going to develop an indie game and say I think it's worth $200. How about that? It has the value there. So if we're you know what I'm saying? If we're going by what a publisher thinks the value of a game is, guess what? Sky is the limit, and the consumer is absolutely screwed. Well, there were two executives here that were interviewed, two different interviews, okay? Well, there was two different executives that were in two different interviews here. One of them is Shuhei Yoshida, and the other one was an executive that was at a medieval feast and had corn on a thumb drive where he also had contracts. Some of you probably know who I'm talking about, but let's start with Shuhei Yoshida and leave Captain Corn Drive for the latter. Now, Shuhei Yoshida was being interviewed by a Brazilian game publication called Critical Hits, and he was asked about game prices, and this is what he had to say. Initially, it didn't seem that bad, but then he decided, you know what? I'm going to put a turd cherry on top of the sundae because the sundae is too delicious. There might as well be fecal matter right on the top of it. This is what he had to say. When you look at life in general, other products in price have increased, way more than the game price. So I think it was almost too late for the video game companies to start looking at the pricing structure, which is not a great statement, especially if you look at the net income of Sony, and I'm going to use EA as another example. I'll show you that in a minute. But, all right, not great thing to say. Games at $60 a pop are arguably pretty damn expensive. 70, even more expensive. 80, Jesus Christ. But then he says this about people complaining about the price increases. It's just like, oh my God, you're so out of touch. And I quote here, "As long as people choose carefully how they spend their money, I don't think they should be complaining." All right, dude. Okay. One of the go-tos was, and it's still expensive at $60. $60 is a high asking price for a game. You know what? I'm going to get this game. It's going to hurt my wallet a little bit, but you know what? The replay value will be absolutely insane. And especially, for example, during COVID, when we had the stay-at-home orders, it'll help me pass the time. But $20 more is a lot. $20 for someone could be groceries, even though grocery prices are going up too. Don't get me started on that. But to me, what's funny with these executives is they show that they're out of touch. I'm sure Shuhei Yoshida has plenty of zeros in his bank account, and he's like, oh, just don't complain, just buy it later. What happens if someone, because $20 more, and they're living paycheck to paycheck, they may be working two jobs, may never have that extra 20. And maybe that pastime that helps them get through life and makes the crappiness of life less crappy was buying the occasional game. And yes, for certain people, $20 may take that game off the table. Do you ever think of that? Maybe they'll never have time, or maybe they'll never have the funds to save up that extra money. And then you have the Switch 2 coming out, which is a $450 console. And on top of it, you have to buy games. You're going to have to buy some accessories for it. People just can't afford it. And then you're asking for $80 for Mario Kart World on top of it. Good luck trying to find the bundle with Mario Kart World included, which would have made the game cheaper. We're being priced out, man. We're being priced out of this hobby. But if you thought that the former Sony exec Shuhei Yoshida's take on game price increases was bad, Randy Pitchford, the boss of Gearbox Software, they're coming out with Borderlands 4. His was even worse. Like, real crass. Like, tell me how out of touch you are, Randy. Tell me how much corn you have on your thumb drive now. Please, we need to know. The birds want to know. What kind of corn do you have there? How many magic tricks are on that thumb drive full of corn? The world is dying to know. Anyway, this is his completely out of touch, brain dead take on game price increases. A fan of the Borderlands series replied to Randy on Twitter, and of course he responded because, of course, his ego made him have to respond. This is what they had to say. Randy, this game better not be $80. Don't take that risk. A lot of gamers aren't going to pay $80 and feed this notion of constant increases of the price tag. You are the CEO. You have some say with the price when it comes to your publisher. Randy Pitchford then went on to say this: A, not my call. B, here we go. If you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. My local game store had Starflight for the Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991 when I was just out of high school working minimum wage at an ice cream parlor in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen. What a heartwarming story, Randy. Stunning and brave. So hey, just take Randy's advice. Just work more. Who cares if you have 3 kids, if you have other outstanding bills, if you have other things to pay for and you can't afford any of this stuff. Just find a way to make it work. If you're a real fan, you will find a way to get that game in your hands, and you would never, ever, ever pirate the game, right? Piracy is bad. Well, say, for example, that you shop at Target and you have one of these little newfangled things here called a phone, and your USB-C cable broke for it, and you need to have a charge in your phone to communicate with people. It's kind of important nowadays. Well, Target basically is doubling the price of some of their products, and this is due to tariffs. You don't believe me? This comes from thesun.com. There are Target workers showing the old price and what they have to slide in for the new price. Take a look at this. There it is right there. Their brand USB-C cable is essentially doubling in price. It's going from $10 to $18, just shy of being doubled. Like, you're spending double the money on something simple that you may need, like a USB-C cable. This also is a warning from Walmart's CFO, John Rainey, about the tariffs and how it's going to affect prices at those mega stores. We're wired for everyday low prices, but the magnitude of these increases is more than any retailer can absorb. It's more than any supplier can absorb. And so I'm concerned that the consumer is going to start seeing higher prices. You'll begin to see that likely towards the tail end of this month, and then certainly much more in June. And he added that this is unprecedented in terms of how fast and how much the prices are going to increase. Like, we're talking not just like electronics, we're talking also on top of it basic goods too that are going to become more expensive. Now, some of you may be saying, Rich, EA just had some layoffs and maybe Sony's hurting right now, but maybe that's why they have to increase the prices of their games. Oh, really? EA's net income right now for what we've been through in 2025 so far might be down, but here, take a look at these numbers. Take a look at what their net income was in 2024. Electronic Arts net income for 2024 was $1.273 billion, a 58.73 increase from 2023. And they're right now, yes, okay, Electronic Arts net income for 2025 so far, we're only in May, is $1.21 billion. And for the same time last year, if you're looking at numbers that way, it's an 11.94% decline from 2024. But they're still making bank. Like, they're still making money. But what about Sony? How's Sony doing? For the fiscal year 2024, which ended on March 31st, 2025, Sony's net income attributable to Sony Group Corporation stockholders was $7.8 billion US dollars, based on the exchange rate at the time the results were announced. Key points about Sony's fiscal year 2024 net income. Here we go. Record profit. Sony reported record net income for fiscal year 2024, increase from previous year. This represented a 17.6% increase in net income compared to the previous fiscal year. Factors contributing to profit growth. The company attributed the strong performance to robust sales in gaming software, as well as a weaker yen, which boosted the value of overseas earnings when converted back to Japanese yen. Now, Sony is forecasting a 13% decrease compared to the previous year, and this is largely due to the tariffs. But overall, Sony is still raking in a ton of cash, and you get my point. I don't really even know what to say at this point. Between the price increases of Microsoft consoles, which is insane, soon to be 5-year-old consoles, the prices aren't going down, they're going up. There are hints that Nintendo may increase the price of the Switch too. There is also very educated guesses from industry insiders that the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 Pro are going to go up in price. And on top of it too, even if you own the consoles already, the software is getting more expensive. We're being priced out of our hobby. And they could say whatever they want to about, game prices, the price increases lagged behind other goods, but it's still an expensive hobby, even if the prices did lag behind other goods. And it's entertainment. It's that simple. The people are going to use their money for things they need to survive, or even necessary electronics or necessary accessories like a USB-C cable. If they're like, hey, I need to keep my lights on, or buying the newest Nintendo IP, they're going to choose to keep their lights on. And if they can't afford your games anymore, they're not going to buy them. Oh, it's still a great value, but yeah, if someone's they're thinking my bank account is still at zero. It doesn't matter how good the value is. You can make the game $50 or $80. It's zero on my bank account is zero. And turning around and essentially saying, don't be broke, isn't a good business strategy. It just makes people more angry. It's going to be interesting to see where gaming goes in the next couple years. But right now, things are not looking good. And increasing prices where people can't afford your products even more so than they already can't afford them already is not going to bring people to the stores. They're going to choose to pay their mortgage, rent, or electric bill over buying a game console and expensive games for it. That's just the reality of it. Hey, if you watched the whole video, what the hell are you doing? You're not subbed yet? Click that sub button. I live stream here all the time. We have a good time. Make sure to become a subscriber. It's free. Click the button now and hit that bell too. Be a man.